Time to talk about the Devinci Django 2.9er, a poutine-powered trail bike from East Coast Canada that I've been on board for the last few weeks. So what do I think of it? Well, with 120 mils travel out back and 140 up front, it's a bit of an odd mix. It's rare to see such a big travel difference on a trail bike. But on this bike, it works really well. If you had a shorter travel fork on it, this bike would be too steep. It's already got a 68-degree head angle, which is pushing towards the steeper side of things. And if you had a shorter fork, it'd just put you too far over the front. One undoubted highlight of this bike is the stiffness and strength of the frame. It is stronger than Justin Trudeau's jawline. We've said before that frame stiffness and geometry will always trump travel, and this bike is a perfect example of that. Because the frame is so stiff, you've got a little bit more confidence to put it into some ugly bits of terrain. Even if you run out of travel, you know that it's still going to hold its line, and that's a really nice thing. The bike is also an excellent technical climber. Devinci are one of the brands that have licensed the Dave Weigel designed split pivot suspension system, and it gives you really great sensitivity when you're climbing in those slow speed situations. So that's another real highlight of this bike. In some ways though, this bike is a bit of an odd mix. Having a 68-degree head angle would tell you that it's designed for more towards the cross-country end of the trail bike spectrum, but in fact this bike's strengths really lie in its technical abilities. It pushes more towards the all-mountain side of riding. Ordinarily it'd come with a set of Maxxis Ardent tyres, which we think would be a bad choice for this bike. The Ardent is a fast roller for sure, and it might help speed this thing along a little bit, but it's definitely going to detract from its abilities when things get a little bit ugly. And as we said before, this is where this bike shines, so stick with some meaty rubber. We've gone for a Minion 2.5 up front combined with an Aggressor out the back. If you buy this bike expecting it to be a real cross-country weapon, you're probably going to be a little bit disappointed. It doesn't have the get up and go or the zip of some other 120mm 29ers on the market. For instance, if you stack this up against, say, the Specialized Camber or the Scott Spark, both with 120mm travel and 2.9er wheels, you're going to find that it is a little bit lacking. It just won't cover ground as quickly as those bikes, but it'll leave them both for dead when things start to get lumpy, steep and technical. A great trail bike for someone who's looking for more technical riding and isn't so interested in going fast or trying to cover huge distances on their weekend loop.